What we have here is Quicksilver Ranch, which is between Los Olivos, a pretty little town, and Solvang, both in Southern California. And what this ranch is known for, it's like several around here that specialize in miniature horses, which are around here. I'll see if I can get close to one. Miniature horses. I don't know how many hands high they are, but they're about 2/3 the size of a real horse. I don't quite know what the function of miniature horses is. I suppose doing things that real horses, big horses, can't be bothered with. I don't know. Not knowing much about this kind of thing, I suppose I would have thought of them as ponies, but they're supposed to be real horses. Hello, you little beauty. Well, that seems like sensible advice.
Hello.
Hi. What do people use miniature horses for?
I'll be with you just a sec.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. What miniature things do miniature horses do?
Well, we're a breeding facility.
I'm sorry?
We're a breeding facility.
I see.
We have between 25 and 30 babies a year that we offer for sale. So
Right, I see.
that's what we do. It keeps us busy.
Well, at least they don't eat as much.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
How much would it cost to buy a miniature horse?
Our babies start at about $2,500.
Oh, that'd be good.
And then they go from there, depending on size, depending on sex, color. The females usually are more expensive.
I wish I could. It would be so nice to own them. Thanks so much.
Sure.
Well, as I suppose everybody knows, Solvang is Scandinavian, specifically Danish, and all the buildings are meant to emulate that style. I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to wander around and casually get some places. The Hamlet Inn. Well, he was a melancholy Dane, wasn't he? The windmill is part of the Solvang Brewing Company. Nice flowers. That's impressive, as glimpsed through the trees. I don't think I'll go any nearer though. They still have a Thomas Kincaid gallery with that overpriced junk. Kitsch. Is that how you pronounce it? Kitsch? I think the value of this stuff is dropping, so I read. Don't know what's around this corner, but we'll find out. I suppose it's safe to assume that that's the Danish flag on the left. Parking lot has electric parking. You can use a credit card. There's a whole bunch of windmills around. As well as a whole batch of bakeries and places that make pretty pastries and cookies and things like that, which seems to be a specialty of the Danish. The Danish, you have a Danish for breakfast, don't you? Sometimes. This coffee house is called a Danish, you can see why. I'm sorry, I meant the greenhouse. But it is Danish. What I propose to do tomorrow is visit ostrich land. I love ostriches, the world's biggest bird. This is where I'm staying, the King Frederick. It's not bad. About 180 something bucks including tax for 2 nights. Has a pool and a hot tub. Comfortable enough. Just saw this book in somebody's car, and even upside down you can see it says Al Capone does my shirts. Lots of wine tasting places in this entire valley, of course. Cuckoo clock sale going on here. Nothing like having a cuckoo clock. This place is called Atterdag Square and is named after a 14th century king of Denmark. Atterdag means a new day, and it was when Denmark was united from a bunch of separate principalities, I guess. There's a bust of Hans Christian Andersen outside a museum. It's free, devoted to his work. He wrote fairy tales, 160 of them, which were translated into 100 languages. He died in 1875. There's another nice museum, and one of the One of the funny wine bars is called the Wandering Dog. This should be amusing. Well, that basically says that when you feed them, keep your fingers out of the bowl and don't get closer than you have to.
How many?
What a funny thing you are. Here come some more feeders. I figured I couldn't very well feed them and videotape at the same time.
Nakita. Ikaw, huwag ka muna magpakain. Nay, oh, ito, tawa ka na. Akin na yung lips-lips. Nakita na kayo.
Nabalapit ko sa'yo. You know how you can hold on to that thing. That was quick.
Quick,
yeah. Record.
It's everything. Yeah, no more. Matataba ito.
Doon ka na. Gimik lang habang makain. Yan.
Baka pagaliw ka. Halo mo.
Oo. Hindi, okay lang.
Okay lang.
Hindi ka ano niya. Train dyan. Ang train lang sila yung pag nakita ng ball.
They can live to 75 years old and they can run at 45 miles an hour. And of course they run in the direction that people happen to be going. Quite a trip, isn't it? Like charging $4 for people to go in and see the ostriches and then $1 to feed them. It's worth the $4, but well, it's worth all the money, but I think it's funny that that you can have other people pay to feed your animals. Birds. 45 miles an hour. I can't run like that. Anybody else? Nor can anybody else. It's quite a huge area actually. I guess they do run a bit maybe when there's nobody around. Well, I'd like to put my head through there and be an ostrich, but unfortunately I can't do that and hold the camera at the same time. It seems they stand 8 to 9 feet tall, mature at 2 to 3 years, breed until 40 years. The oldest ostrich on record is 81. The only bird with 2 toes. An ostrich egg weighs 3 to 4 pounds, equivalent to 24 chicken eggs. They hatch in 42 days. A good hen lays 40 to 80 eggs a season. They're vegetarians. They eat 3.5 pounds of food a day and produce 1.5 pounds of feathers per season. Oh, so there you are. Lots of feathers in the shop.
Okay, I'll hold 2 eggs for you by 11 for a call back from you. Okay? My name's Nicole.
Do you have an egg on show anywhere?
Are you videotaping
I
me?
mean, I'd like to see what an egg looks like.
There's a empty shell here.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh, okay.
Oh. Is
That's
it hard
about-
to crack
that's-
it? Uh-huh. You know.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Dang.
What we have here is the Mission Santa Ines, built in dating back to 1804. It was the 18th of the missions that they built all the way up from Mexico. They were about a day's horse ride apart. And most of the earlier ones were built by Father Serra, who died in 1784, as it happens. Still a regular working church with regular services. It's $5 to go in and look at the church, which seems a bit thick, and I'm certainly not going to give Catholics $5 these days. They'll just use it to pay off some buggering priest, I suppose. It's interesting that neither here nor in any of the literature do they say it costs anything. Just look at a church.